What's going on, everyone? Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we'll be working on this beautiful rig over here, my GX460, or at least becoming a rig. But we will be installing some LED lights, welcome lights, on my stock side steps from a company called Street Shark Garage. And these come in two different applications on the actual product itself. You can actually get a switch version, which I didn't opt for because I do not have a switch panel in my rig just yet. That'll be later on in the future. I just got the simple plug and play version to where it just turns on and off when you unlock and lock the car, or you're close to it with your key, and the comfort access lights up your whole vehicle. So the reason why I'm modifying them to stay on this stock side step is because my wife is a little bit shorter, so I want to keep that so she can get in and out easier in my car. And this option is primarily for people who have no side step at all, or they upgraded to rock sliders and they don't have their welcome lights anymore. So this is gonna be not for that application. This is gonna be for modifying the current stock setup. I'm very pleased with the final results, as you'll see through the progression of the video. It is complete night and day difference. I'm very happy with it. So let's get right to it. So as you can see right here, I have everything out of the bag that it came in. And here are the lights, which are very well made. This is aluminum housing or something of metal descent. As you can see here, it has the built-in LEDs with the ballast in the back. And I made sure to plug in everything to make sure it works into the stock setup. So I plugged where the plugs needed to go, obviously. And then this is gonna be to where your stock connector is underneath your vehicle. And of course, here are the backings to it, to how you would mount them to your car. And since, like I said, it's kind of a 50-50 split with people keeping them on or taking them off, I'm putting it in the application that I currently have right now, which is with them on, since my wife is a little bit shorter, needs help getting into my rig. So let's go ahead and get to the install, and I'm gonna show you what we need to do in order to modify the stock setup, and let's go from there. I also wanted to go over with you guys what tools you'll be needing. I will be removing the side step in my case so I can better show you what I will be doing. You can more than likely keep it on, and obviously if you don't have a side step, just disregard all these things because this is going to be a totally different setup. But in order to remove the side step, there are actually 6 bolts that are 12 millimeters, so you'll just need an extension and your ratchet. And then I believe this is a T25. I could be mistaken. No, you will need a T27, or you could probably use a T30 to remove the 2 clips on the side, and I'll show you where that is located. A flathead, some clips, and I'll show you why, and a plastic pry tool, again, I'll show you why. So I will go to the other side to get for the clips and the pry tool, because what you'll need to be doing is removing this, and obviously the clips, they will break over time because plastic gets brittle. And then what you're gonna go in and do is, with your plastic pry tools, go in right here and then lift up, and then just lift up and try to save as many as you can. Obviously, you will save what you save. And then right here, what you'll be doing is going in with your flathead. And if you wanna remove the whole stock wiring harness, which I did, and I'll show you on the other side, this is where that plastic, or that's where that flathead comes into play. So you're able to push these out. And now we'll go to the other side. So I removed the side step to show you how I will be installing this. And then here is the stock wiring harness setup. And I'm gonna be reusing these clips that came on the wiring harness. Some of them were broken off. I don't know how that happens, but again, probably because plastic becomes brittle over time. And some of them stayed on, but again, I'll be showing you the process now, because now it's off of the car. And sorry I said side skirt, because coming from the car life, that's what it's called, and not the side step. So as you can see right here, this is how I want to mount it, and then there will be that rubber gasket on top. So I want to put this through and show you guys how it's going to be the final setup. And really just taking off the stock one is super easy. You just use that screwdriver or your power drill, remove this, and then come in with your flathead and pry it off. And this is just what it's gonna look like in the back. And as you can see, these are super hazy. I've tried cleaning them numerous times, and obviously you could get a new one and then put in your LED bulbs and it'll probably be better. But when I did the comparison, and I'll show you guys in a bit, it was a complete night and day difference, no pun intended. But let me go ahead and get started on this install. So I mounted both of them in two different styles. One where I actually used a Dremel and I was able to create a little bit more space, but I don't know if I like just keeping it on this rubber plating in the back. It kind of looks wonky. Again, this is my first time doing it, so I'm just making sure I like it to my liking. So when I thought about something, I tried to figure out to see if I could reuse this hole and offset it a little bit, which it does fit. It actually doesn't move when you put it all the way through. It's actually locked into place. So I think I may just run a zip tie, and then later on in the future create like a small little bracket so I can mount up both, and maybe reuse the stock hardware. But again, this is just a test phase. I just really wanted to see if I can make this work, and it's just gonna always be a work in progress. But even just keeping it like this, there is no movement or play, and it doesn't even wiggle. So I think I may go with this option, and then I'm gonna try to see what I can do with keeping two nuts in here, or sorry, two bolts. And this is how I just routed all the wiring and where I'm gonna reuse the stock locations to mount this wire up. I'm just gonna clean this up as well, zip tie together, making sure it looks all nice and neat. And yeah, so this is I think this is the setup I'll be going with right now. I know it's not in the middle, but I don't think I'll really notice by much, since these are gonna be way brighter. The light is still gonna protrude. So that's why I wanted to offset it. So I'm just gonna mirror this one over here and probably put it towards this side so they can both look even and not keep it on the outside. So I'll show you what I'll be going with. So I did want to show you guys my final setup. I really didn't want to tighten down these wires because I didn't want anything maybe to rub through. So I don't know what my next step would be. Maybe probably to do a zip tie up here somewhere. But as you can see, I reuse these plastic clips from the stock setup, and I just routed everything through here very nicely. I'm gonna still zip tie this down, but I added a zip tie here because the clip kind of doesn't fit, or maybe I could be doing it wrong, but just to be sure, you know, I'd rather be safe than sorry. And as you can see here, follow the lines right here with the clips. Everything's fitted and looks nice and proper. I did add a zip tie here for just, you know, just in case this backs out, it saves it and it's not loose. But again, this thing is not going anywhere, and I did it on the other side as well, right here on the opposite side. I don't know why the holes are offset, but it's still the same setup, same thing, and it should be the same, I guess you could say, mirrored effect. So I can't wait to throw these on. Again, this is not, there's nothing on this about how to modify it to the stock side step. And that's what I'm just doing, and trying to give you guys an idea on how to do it yourselves and what you will be looking into, and the many different avenues on adding this to your stock setup if you want to. So I'm gonna throw it onto the car right now and show you the difference between the LED bulbs on the other side and the Street Sharks Garage LED conversion. So I did want to show you guys the final reveal. So this is the Street Sharks. And then this is just the stock lighting. As you can see, there is a substantial difference. And obviously the reason why this is protruding out, let me show you guys again, protruding out more is because there is no plastic cover. So it is showing it a little bit wonky. But when I do have the plastic cover, make a little bit of adjustments and, you know, obviously keep it to where it needs to be. You can already tell this is a big difference compared to the other side. Once again, one last time for you. Stock setup and Street Shark setup. That's very, very bright. So as I am underneath the vehicle, everything looks, other than, you know, obviously the zip tie here, but I fed every line back here. And then as you can see here, I cleaned up the wires, zip tied it right here, reused the factory location for this housing. And yeah, I'm very, very happy with the results. And as you can see here, this is where all the wiring was hid just like factory. You can't really, again, I apologize for the camera, but you can't really notice it unless you're far underneath here. But again, you're not gonna really be going underneath here. And this is the setup. This is mounted in place, even though there's only one in here. I use that zip tie for just, you know, precautionary measures on all sides. So front and back, and even on the passenger side. And I just mirrored this. This was my setup, is I put it, the one closest towards the, I guess you could see the B pillar. And then right here, again, closest towards the B pillar. So towards the middle of the car, that's how I set it up. And it, as you can see, the lighting comes out just fine. So now I have everything installed, and I wanted to show you the final product. And here it is. I aligned the lights and I adjusted it to make it look like a straight square box, which in the beginning of the video or in the middle of the video, as you would see, it was kind of wonky. So I adjusted it and made sure it looked nice and it was even on both sides. And I am very, very pleased with the look of this. It completely updates the whole vehicle. Instead of having those, you know, the stock yellow lights or even the LED lights, these even show, as you can see underneath here, you can see all of the underneath of the car. And I'm just gonna lock it real quick because I knew you would go to sleep. You could see basically everything underneath here, which is wild. Beforehand, it was only about to like right here, and it would do very minimal underneath, but now you can see everything underneath the car. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and comment down below on any questions that you may have. You don't have to follow what I did, but I just wanted to give you guys, you know, a second look on how to maybe set up yours. I love the way how I set up mine. It matches close to OEM as possible, and you wouldn't even notice if you would look down there. And again, I'm gonna try to work on making like a little small bracket to join to the other side, so I can have two nuts going into there, so it can make it a little bit more snug. But like I said before, and in the video that you saw, it's already snug as is with one, and that zip tie was there just for precautionary measures. I already took it out for a drive. Nothing has fallen off, nothing has shifted, moved, or anything like that. I'm gonna try to hit some bumpy roads or maybe go off-road a little bit and really report back to you in a later video. And that will conclude this video. I hope you guys are staying safe out there and enjoyed the content that I threw out today.